I'm here to talk to you about this new user that is rising in this era. In this era. So, I'm not working in Dublin at the moment, but I'm working in Lisbon, which is near. So, how did we get here? How did we get this new user, this new individual? We start with mass communication, then we process to segmentation to talk with smaller groups with different interests. But then again, this user is demanding us individual communication. And why is that? Because this user has a new identity, which means he has power, he has a new voice in this digital world, he wants personalization in terms of content, in terms of image, in terms of type of message he is receiving, and he wants all of that to be relevant, and he wants to interact with these different elements. And he also wants all of that with privacy, and we all know that with this GDPR new challenge that we are facing. So all of that gives him a new status. And whereas before brands and companies were pushing products towards the customers and the users, saying, you are going to buy my product and that's it, now the brands and the companies are saying, please give me your attention, please buy the things that I'm selling, they are good for you. And the user are responding like this: yes, okay, I'll give you my attention, but only if you're relevant to me and if you make me feel special. And that's a new way of communicating things now. So the brands and the companies have to start this new conversation with the user, and this means humanizing all the digital communication. Because going mobile means to speak with this new user, and this new user has more education, easy access to information, and so he has more knowledge anytime and anywhere in real time. So timing for us as companies is key to communicate with this user because we are in direct contact with him. Mobile devices are an extension of this user's body. So if we are too intrusive, we are at risk to be swiped off of his life. So meaning that mobile devices, we have to be aware that they are in constant update. And also, it's different to communicate in laptops and desktops to tablets and to phones, to smartphones, which means that size versus information, how we treat information that we are passing while we are passing the message to our user, is one of the things that we have to analyze, quantity versus quality. And also, because of the portability of these devices, we have to take into account the contents, the context, the environment, and the mood that are always changing in this user's world. Because these devices are a fusion of several functionalities, and we are competing with the whole system. And this is different. That's why the applications, the mobile applications, are currently asking, how are you today? How we can help you? Mobile communication is different if we see online communication messages from offline communications. Because in a mobile communication area, we are transferring user behaviors into a digital world. So we have to keep up with digital and technological trends. Users are adapting, and so do companies. We are presenting and we are assisting in a crash of behaviors from the generation of millennials that are very different from Generation X or baby boomers. Millennials are the first ones to not copy the behaviors that from the previous generation. And this means that we are now sending message user-centered with a user-centered concept. We have 2 to 5 seconds to convince the users that we are good for them. And afterwards, we have to deal with this feedback as well. So the conversation factor starts right at that moment. So with this user, we have to take into account also that to approach him with these devices, we have to present him with neurocognitive stimulus, like memories, sounds, colors as well. But also we have to learn from video games. Video games are a huge success because of the gaming and gamification processes that are in it. They also have organic and interactive elements and contents that are very good for the user and gives him the play factor that results in immersion and flow with the interfaces. Also, because of the portability of these devices, we have to take into account the psychological moments that the user are in every single day. So we have to develop a new perspective towards mobile devices as a support of our interaction with this user. It's a new language, and this new language has a new way of being processed. When the message gets to the user observes, pays attention, then retains the message, then processes the information that gives him motivate to act or to react. And this takes just a few seconds, 2 to 5 seconds to be more precise. And in 1948, Shannon presented us an advertising structure that went from the source to the coder to the message and the channel to a decoder and then to the recipient. In 2000, Lang presented the same model with a twist. The recipient could give a feedback directly to the source. But then in 2014, while I was taking my master's degree, I came up with this model that I'm going to share with you. It goes also in source, message, and recipient. So starting with source, the source here has to be prepared in terms of articulation. It has to articulate the real versus the digital, the screen versus the daily life of this user, and the content versus the mobile device. It also has to deal with synesthesia and the immersion and flow phenomena. The source has to be aware that the context is dissiping. The real and the digital are still separated, but not for very long in the future. And the source also has to send a stimulus to the message. So the stimulus doesn't come after the message, it comes before. And of course, it has to deal with the feedback from the user. So in terms of message, this message comes in these mobile devices that are the fifth element, the extension of the body, that provides to the recipient the interaction that he wants. And the recipient here goes to, and summarizing everything that I said before, through a cognitive process, the human versus the machine relation, and the virtual me. That means he has his own personality in the digital world, so it's different from the offline world. So here's the whole deal. To make this work, I believe that cross-knowledge is important for this to work. So, and this is only to name a few areas that could be crossed. So, economy, obviously because of the market and the value of exchange, the value of use. Philosophy and psychology, because we are facing this individual as an individual of an element of a social and behavioral network. The neuromarketing and analytics that help us to decode this new user, and also all of this IT, UX, UI, design, gaming, and gamification that are systems and languages that translates the behaviors that the user adopts in these new interfaces. So this is me, and if you have any questions or anything else.